Hey guys, I'm back with another stream. It is a very happy day for Milwaukee fans. It is a very happy day for really all of the other fans around the NBA. It is a good day for all of the other teams that are competing for the championship. The Brooklyn Nets, the Juggernaut Brooklyn Nets, have been eliminated by none other than the chokers themselves, Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks, who have had no success in the postseason when they've been ranked as the best team in basketball record-wise, have gotten destroyed last season and the season before by teams who were worse than them. But now the Bucks are back in the Western Conference Finals after missing it last year, and will probably make the finals. And you know what? Good for them, because the Bucks deserve it. I think the Bucks deserve it. While I don't think that the Bucks are the most entertaining contender, I like to watch them play. I think Giannis Antetokounmpo is a beast. I think they have a great bench. PJ Tucker is a great offensive or defensive player. Chris Middleton is great. Brook Lopez is great. They just have a great thing rolling. And Drew Holiday is great. But yeah, they just have a great thing rolling right now. And they have taken down the Nets, who were definitely favored to win this series. With Kyrie Irving and James Harden being out for parts of the series, the Nets were still favored to win. And the Bucks said, no, and took them down in 7. This was a great series, but more importantly, this was a great Game 7. The final score of this Game 7, which had the Bucks winning 115-111. It was a great game for both sides. Great game for Kevin Durant. It was a great game for Giannis Antetokounmpo, and a great game for a lot of other guys. But let's break down what happened to the Nets and why they lost this series, and where I see the Bucks going with this. I will also have finals predictions and NBA champion predictions in this video, because I don't want to have to do another basketball video. The Milwaukee Bucks have a great team. They do. And by taking the Nets down tonight, they're 4 games away from the finals, 8 games away. We're 4 wins away from the finals, and 8 wins away from becoming NBA champions. Can they do it? I don't think so, but you know what? I got to give them kudos, because they really played their hearts out. But what happened to the Nets? This team was favored since acquiring James Harden back in January to win the finals. They were finals favorites. They were champion favorites. And what happened? They went out in the second round in 7, but they went out in the second round. I'd say that's kind of a failure, right? But what happened to lead up to this elimination? Well, the Nets have a great team, and I have to be fair to them. Even though I really don't like the Nets, I need to be fair to them. Kevin Durant performed all season long, obviously carried the team. Bruce Brown, Joe Harris, Nicholas Claxton, all these guys who you wouldn't think would ever be clutch were clutch this season. Maybe not so much in the playoffs, but they performed, and they helped the Nets get to where they were. But they didn't get them quite there. So I have to get a lot of credit to these Nets players for stepping it up and helping get the Nets to the playoffs. But then I have to point out the 2 guys who helped lose this series, which were Kyrie Irving and James Harden. These two knuckleheads were injured for part of this series. Now, it's not their fault that they were injured, but I can't say that they performed to the rate that they were supposed to this season, especially James Harden. I expect a lot more out of James Harden than Kyrie Irving, because Kyrie Irving has always been a guy who's going to back you up. He can not carry a team by himself, obviously, and I don't know. It just seems like he's just not a very clutch player. Yes, he's a great player, but one, he's not so clutch, and two, he's just very injury prone. But no, Kevin Durant, obviously the Nets MVP this season. But like I said, they do go out in the second round and 7 to the Bucks. Just a great series, and I have to give a lot of credit to the Bucks. They played their hearts out. They knew that they were playing probably the top team in the league, and they went at them. They didn't care. They didn't back down. They went at them, and they beat them. But let's talk about why they probably beat them. And that comes in the form of a name. James Harden. Now, James Harden, I have both good and bad history with. He was the Houston Rockets star from 2012 to 2020. Then there was 2021, when he requested a trade, threw a temper tantrum on the Rockets, and forced a trade to Brooklyn, which basically then assembled the super team of Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden. But he did not perform at all to the rate that he did as a Rocket with the Nets. Sure, he had some games where he came through, but all three of these guys did. But it was mostly Kevin Durant. It was Kevin Durant who grinded every game. He played almost every minute. He was clutch every game. Even the games that they lost, he was clutch. James Harden was injury prone this season. That's not something you see out of him. I don't think he really ever got injured as a Rocket. I think there was only maybe one stint where he missed a few games. Other than that, he would play almost every single game. But this season, there were multiple incidents where he went on the IL. And you know what? That's justice. Justice. And now the Nets are out. Kyrie Irving did not perform in this series. 1 and 2, he just didn't really play that well when he was even in. I mean, he might have, but I'm just not a very big Kyrie Irving fan at all. So the Nets, they're gone. Gone forever. At least for this year. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if the Bucks are going to the finals. I don't know what's going on. But if I had to put my money on it, I'd say the Bucks were going to the finals now. And I'm saying the Suns are going as well. I want nothing more than to see them, both those teams in the finals. I want nothing more than to see Chris Paul happy. I want nothing more than to see PJ Tucker happy. But I want nothing less than to see James Harden happy. I just don't, because he doesn't deserve the satisfaction of getting a ring. It may have worked for other guys such as Kevin Durant, such as Anthony Davis, but this didn't work out for James Harden. And you know what? Too bad. Too bad, so sad. Brooklyn fans, I don't have a lot against your team. other than the fact that I just don't like your big three. I don't like Kevin Durant. I don't like Kyrie Irving. I don't like James Harden. Kevin Durant, though, I will say this. He plays his heart out every night, and I have to respect that. I don't like him, but I have to respect him. He was clutch tonight. He played his heart out. He went Jordan mode. He carried the team. And what did James Harden do? What did he do? He had a few shots, and that was it. Other than that, he stood off in the dark. You know why? Because he knew if they lost this game and he got the ball in clutch situations and bricked it and blew his chance, he would get trashed. And that's the thing James Harden worries about the most. His ego, his reputation. And that has gotten the best of him. And sadly, it'll probably get the best of him for the rest of his career. I didn't ever want to have to say that because I loved James Harden. He was my idol. There was a time when basketball was my favorite sport, but now it's reverted back to baseball because I've just seen how toxic basketball really can be. Plus, the Rockets are bad, but that's not the point. The point is, these guys who request a trade after a few seasons with a team, those guys shouldn't be in the NBA. Because if you're going to be a spoiled brat because you don't get a championship within your first few years, you don't belong in the NBA. If you're a basketball player, what you do, you grind it out. I don't care if you get a championship or not. No one cares. They just want you to perform, not throw a hissy fit. But that's what you do. Obviously, there are guys out there right now, Zion Williamson, Luka Doncic. There are just guys out there right now, super young guys, who are already unhappy. Why are you unhappy? Because if you guys got fired because you didn't win a championship yet, because you haven't made the playoffs, that happens. It happens to everyone. Name me one player who's been to the playoffs every single year in their career. Name me one player. You name me one player on the stream right now. There might be. I don't know. But it's so rare that you make the playoffs every year. So stop whining. The people that do this kind of thing, James Harden, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, all three of those guys at some point in their career have requested a trade or basically forced it. Or just signed somewhere else and were super disloyal to their team. Yeah, exactly. They were unfaithful to their team. I've lost a lot of respect for these young players now. I'm losing respect for Luka Doncic. You've only been here for what, 3 years? No, you have nothing. You can't say anything. Here's my. You know what? Here's my my logic. If you haven't been in the league for at least 5 years, shut your mouth. Be quiet. You go out there, you play the game of basketball. You don't voice your opinion. Nobody cares. Well, okay, no, I take that back. Some people care, but you don't have a say. You shouldn't have a say. You've only been here a short period of time. Don't walk into this place and act like you own it. You don't. Unless you prove it. Luka Doncic has proven it, but guess what? He's still young. No, he's still got quite a career left. He still can't say anything. I don't care what he's done. I don't care if he's carried the Mavericks to a playoffs already. I don't care. He doesn't get a say yet. You can get a say when you lead your team to the finals. You can get a say when you've given your team at least 5 good years of basketball. If you haven't given that, you zip it. You zip it and you go out there and play the game of basketball. I'm so sick of these superstars coming out, oh, I don't want this trade. I want to go somewhere else where they'll listen to me and baby me. You're spoiled brats. It's annoying. I've been holding this back for so long now. I'm loving saying this right now because the NBA is getting to the point where it's so annoying. It's annoying. Every year, there's a new guy that's unhappy. You want to be unhappy? So be it. But don't act like the world revolves around you, because it doesn't. I'm sorry that I had to tell you this, but it doesn't. Damian Lillard. It doesn't. Luka Doncic. It doesn't. Zion Williamson. Sorry, it doesn't. Most of you guys think it does. It doesn't. It really doesn't. So get out there, play the game of basketball. You can whine when you prove that you can whine. When you've given yourself such a name that, okay, I have a right to whine. Right now, you don't have a right to whine. No, not yet. You will, not yet. So play the game of basketball and zip it. I'm so glad I'm so glad I just got that out. I've been holding that back for so long now. I've been holding that back since James Harden requested a trade. Because I'm sorry, that's something that the NBA has a huge problem with. But anyways, this game. Anyways, back to the game. This was a great game, great series. I'm really happy for the Bucks. I'm happy for Giannis. While I don't think the Bucks are like the most entertaining team in basketball, they're a good team, and we shouldn't sleep on them because they'll come back and they'll bite you. Same with the Suns. Same with the Clippers. And same with the 76ers, especially the Hawks. Because, dang, weren't they supposed to go out in like the first round? And weren't they supposed to maybe get swept this series? No, they've taken it to 7. 7 against the best team in basketball in the the best team in the Eastern Conference. The best team remaining, I guess, or the best team remaining. So, great game. I'm happy. I'm entertained for the night. I will be updating y'all soon on the Astros. The Astros took the series against the White Sox tonight. Man, we're on a roll. I love to see it. So far this season without George Springer, our first season in the post-George Springer era, our first season without him, we're trucking. Good. Continue that. If we continue that, we're going to be a top team. We're going to be a World Series contender. If you're just logging on, we've gone over the Nets-Bucks game. We've gone over NBA players and their spoiledness, and now we're kind of back to the Bucks-Nets game and the playoff predictions, finals predictions. That reminds me, who do I think is going to win the finals? Phoenix Suns. Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, Chris Paul, Mikal Bridges, or whatever his name is. Those guys, that's a finals team. The way they're playing, that's a finals team. And I wouldn't be surprised if they won it. So, it's late. I'm satisfied with what I saw tonight. So I'm going to bed. So that is going to end it for the stream, guys. Thanks for tuning in. If you want to go back and you want to see what we were talking about, by all means, yeah. So like, subscribe to the channel, almost to 70. And comment down below your thoughts on what we discussed. I mean, what's your take on everything? What's your take on the Nets Bucks Game 7? What's your take on the playoffs? Whose is your champion this year? So, like, subscribe, and comment. I will see you later. Houston fans, basketball fans, Rockets fans, Bucks fans, Nets fans, whoever. Go Bucks and go Rockets. Bye, guys.